Okay, brilliant. Lovely to see you, Susie, as well. So, tonight we are going to talk about the partner because when you think about these meridians, also, I want you to remember that they all have partners. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about the governing meridian, which is the partner to the central meridian. So they form this microcosmic orbit. I always find that I'm going to get my words out all muddled up there. Microcosmic orbit. It's not something you can say too quickly. And we're going to do a little meditation. I'm going to show you how this works because it's actually really, really powerful. We're going to talk about the governing and we are going to scan and see which meridian came up today or comes up today. And before we start that, what I wanted to actually say is a couple of things I wanted to actually say. And obviously, we're going to talk about an acupressure. And I did have a bit of a problem thinking which acupressure point should I share with you on governing meridian. But I have chosen one of the most useful, I think, for all of you, and an easy one to get to because obviously in the back we can't really sort of get down to the back very easily. So this one is. But what I want to tell you about first is if any of you are interested in taking this further into, I said I was going to do a 6 week, and I thought about it today, and I can't do this in 6 weeks. It's going to be 8 weeks. And what we might just do is it's going to be a journey where we'll go through all the meridians. And this isn't just a learning about the meridians, as I hope you understand that's what happened last night. When we're working with Mag Healy, we are really going into the deeper parts of who you are. And it's getting to the core of the reason as to why there are imbalances in your mind, body, soul, spirit. And this is why it's so powerful. So I've decided it's going to be 8 weeks because I don't want to rush it. And what I will probably do is 4 weeks, have a week off, and then do 4 weeks. Because when I did this last year, and Susan, you did this with me, we did a 12 weeks around the five elements, which was a lot more involved. We sort of split it. So I just gauge it. So I'm going to put the link in the group and I'll put it in here. Remind me afterwards. What I'm doing is it's going to be 888 for 8 weeks. I've got two different payment plans. You can do it in 4 payments of 222, or you can do it in 9 payments of 100. I want to make it really accessible for as many people as possible. That is going to stay until next Monday, and then it will go up to 111. So it's an early bird. But what you will get out of this is not just an understanding of this energy system. It's an understanding on the deeper levels of who you are and how you respond in all of these different ways that you're going to see as well. It is super, super powerful. And it's really interesting when we do the Mag Healy with this because it's so deep and it shares with us such incredible information that you wouldn't find in another way. You might go for years trying to find the solutions and the understanding to why we've got issues or why we've got a certain issue. And what we find, and this is what I'm finding, when you understand which is your weaker, as I say, I don't really like that, the one that's more imbalanced more often than not, you will find that that will probably come up. And I was scanning myself today actually on the meridians, and stomach meridian came up again. Now, as I said, when you understand which is your dominant element, this is going into a little bit of the five elements again, you understand your stress response to whatever's going on. You will then understand which pair of meridians are the ones that you probably need to work on more, because those are the ones that are going to play up more. So my dominant really is earth. I can be quite woody, I can be quite water, but my dominant is earth. So this is no surprise to me that stomach comes up because stomach and spleen are part of the earth element. Okay. So you start to understand yourself more. And it's like I'm really still looking, when I was looking at the solutions that came up, and I was like, oh my God, that is exactly spot on. And it will show us, as you see, the deeper levels, things that we've got tucked away that are not even
Oh
in
my
our
God.
consciousness. They are very deeply embedded. And if they're deeply embedded, how the heck are you going to find out about them? Or how can you shift and move them out? And this is why the Mag Healy is so powerful because it gives us the awareness. And when we've got awareness, we have choice. Because if we have awareness, we can make changes. If we don't have awareness, we just carry on repeating the same old shit. We just keep repeating the same old thing. You know, how often do we do the same thing? We think, oh, I'm not going to do that again. And we do because it's so ingrained. Hi, ladies, nice to see you. It's so ingrained. So that's why this is such a powerful system. And I personally don't know any technology that gives you such a depth of awareness as this Mag Healy Meridian program. Nothing else I've got is as powerful as I think this program is. Okay, so if you're interested, I'll put the link in later and have a look at it. If you're energetically drawn to it, you will know. Don't think about it too much, just energetically feel into that. Okay. So one other thing I wanted to mention, and I was thinking of you, Cheryl, actually, was something you said yesterday, and I thought I've got to tell you guys this because this was such a great remedy for me. It helped me years and years ago when I was working with British Airways. And I was working with, I mean, basically, whenever I went to work, I worked with different people every time I went to work. So you never knew who you were working with. And sometimes you'd work with somebody you'd worked with before. And sometimes that's a good thing, yeah, because you get away from people you don't like. But sometimes you continue to work with those people that triggered you. And one remedy, and I know you said something about that, Cheryl, you got a lot of negativity at work. And I know we find this. Something I used to use was the Bach flower walnut essence. Now, those of you who've got Healy, and in the States, I don't know if you can get the Bach flowers, but the walnut essence is phenomenal. And all I used to do, when I would park my car, I would sit in the car, I would literally put a couple of drops in my hand and I would rub it over me, rub my hands together, and I would literally just put it all over my aura. And I'm not kidding you. And I did this specifically when I knew that there were some people there that were were triggering me I mean, there was so much sexual harassment in that, in those days, in that field of work, it was rife and there were a lot of issues. And I'm telling you, when I used to go to work and I used to have this in my aura, it was just like those people weren't there and they could have been right here, but they were just did not exist in my beingness. They just weren't there. I felt so protected by this. So get a bottle of walnut because walnut is such a brilliant essence for it's actually for change. And just think about walnut. It's got a very, very hard casing, hasn't it? So just think of yourself in that walnut. That's just something I thought I've got to tell you this because I'd forgotten about it. And these little things just come back every now and again. So that's all you need to do. It's about change. It's about transformation. It's about protection. That's what walnut is about. Really nice. Okay. So let's just talk a little bit about the governing meridian. Now, this is known as the Dumai. It is the sea of Yang. It is and actually, Cheryl, I was thinking about it, it'd be good for Erin as well. Be good for Erin. It is known as the master meridian, actually. Now, this one literally runs from the coccyx bone all the way up your spine, over the head, and it finishes up behind the top of the teeth, at the back of the teeth. Okay? So think about the direction of this meridian up the spinal column. And you know that also every vertebrae represents a different organ, yeah, in the nervous system, which is fascinating. So you can, I mean, I've got a great chart in my acupressure book actually somewhere that shows us exactly which vertebrae is the liver, the lungs, whatever, whatever, whatever. So you think where this meridian is, what it's covering, it's huge. It's really, really huge. So obviously this is the partner with the yin, the more feminine, the central meridian, which we spoke about yesterday. This is responsible for the yang organs. So remember the ones that do not work all the time. So you've got your large intestine, your gallbladder, what have we got? The triple warmer and the small intestine, the stomach, and the large intestine. Those are the ones that don't work all the time. So those are the ones that it is responsible for. Okay. Um, Now, the emotions. Now, remember I said to you yesterday, if you remember just one emotion for the central, do you remember what that one was? Really, really important for you to remember this one, connected and disconnected. Okay. If this is out of balance, yeah, you feel disconnected. When it's in balance, you feel connected, you feel protected, you feel like I can do anything, no one can get to me, yeah. The one I want you to remember with the governing meridian is supported or unsupported. We've got others. We've got embarrassment. We've got, um, what else do we have on here? Honesty, dishonesty, distrust. Really interesting one there. Integrity, and we've got burdened and truth. But I really want you to remember that this is about support or not feeling supported. And that's quite easy to remember because you think what the spine is doing for the body. If we didn't have the spine, we'd be jellyfish. So the spine is there to support us, to keep us upright, to give us this form that we have. So think about also, I want you just to have a little bit of an idea. When we're talking about the spine, we can break it down into three different areas emotionally as to what's going on. Now, look, who has not had some form of backache at some point in time? I think every single person I know has had some form of backache or stiffness or tightness or something even more serious. Now, when we look at this emotionally, the top part of the back is very much related to um, holding the weight, like on your shoulders, and holding the weight of what else is going on. Okay, interesting, Cheryl. The middle part is holding in what we don't want to let go of. So negativity, negative experiences. So you can think, if you know the chakras, this is where I get so, we combine the two because we're talking about this chakra is sort of like it's the throat and it's actually the heart. So what's going on there? The middle back is more solar plexus, yeah? And the lower part of the back very much represents how we feel supported and especially financially. How safe do we feel? Because that's very much connecting in with the root chakra. All right. So you can really start to identify a little bit more about, um, and the middle part of the back, because I know most people will probably be the lower part because that's the weakest part, the weight we're holding on our shoulders. But the middle part is also representing when you're being stuck in the past. So feeling stuck in the past, yeah? So just see which what you relate to. It may just swing up and down and around you, and you'll swing through those emotions at different times, depending on what's going on with you. But the lower part of the back is our weaker part. And remember that this is also following in from what we said about CV6 yesterday, the hara, the dantian. Yeah, it's your place of power. And if you're not standing in your power, what are you going to, you're going to feel unsafe. You're going to feel unsupported. You're going to be worrying about money. And this is why that CV6 is so important. And Dixie, you sent a message in. In fact, I'm just massaging my CV6 now and I can feel it's very sensitive because obviously I need to work it. So just go in deeper. And maybe you just need to feel that you need to really press in and hold it and then release it until you feel that you can massage, because mine's actually quite sensitive. I didn't notice that until now. But this is, as we said yesterday, it's a very, very powerful point. So remember, bring a little bit of chakra stuff. The chakras are not just at the front of the body, they're at the back of the body as well. They're coming out of the body, both sides. So this is why they work together. They work in synchronicity together. They're just representing different things. Okay. So the spine is so important for us to keep in good health for so many reasons, so many reasons. And this is why, it's about posture, isn't it? It's about how do we stand up? My dad was always saying, yeah, I still remember it now, shoulders back, chest out, because we do tend to slump over. And we are then creating a weakness in our lower back, and we're creating a weakness in that hara area. So we really need to make sure that actually our posture, because we tend to move forwards more than we move backwards. And that's why yoga is so great, because you need to do more back bends and more of those, back flips or whatever, because we need to go that way more than just coming forwards, because it's our natural tendency. And especially when we feel insecure or if we're feeling vulnerable. Remember, if this is all open, we start doing this because we want to try and hide. We go into that fetal position. So I want you now to think about someone's got your shoulders and they're pulling them back, and you are elongating through the spine. Okay? So there's me going off in a rant, and I really want to start with just a little tapping. So just want you just to, say whatever you like, but I want you just to bring yourself back into this present moment. So just for a minute, close your eyes, and I want you to really feel into the ground. If you haven't got your feet on the ground, just imagine they are. Make sure they're uncrossed. You've got your full footprint on the ground, whether it's the beach, a nice warm sandy beach, or the soil, or even the grass, and just imagine that you're spreading your toes out. The balls of your feet are planted, the heels of your feet are planted, and you've got these beautiful roots coming down from the toes, the balls, the center of the foot, the end of the heel, and they're spreading down and spreading out, creating this beautiful network deep, deep down into the earth, so that you always feel safe, you feel supported. And be aware of your breath. Have you been holding it? Do you take a deep breath and then just take very shallow breaths, or do you just take another deep breath and maybe hold it for a bit and then go back in? And you to think about taking it down from the base of your tummy, breathing in for 5, resting the tongue on the floor of your mouth, and then a nice long deep breath out for 10, or as long as you can. And as you continue those nice breaths, I want you to feel that you've got this beautiful white light being drawing you up through the crown, up into the higher realms of consciousness. And you are literally stretching out and elongating through every single vertebrae. And then I want you just to tap around the eyes, the beginning of the eyes, and just feel into anything that has happened throughout your day. And you can just say, just let it go. Let go of anything that hasn't served me for my highest good. End of the eyebrow. Everything and anything that it represents, I choose to let it all go. Take those nice deep breaths at the same time. Underneath the eye, on the bone, I choose to let go of any irritation, any stress, any heaviness in my body, any anxiety or fear, or anything else that doesn't feel good. I let it go. Down onto the chest, and I choose to feel okay. I choose to feel, and you can say whatever you want.
Choose to feel happiness. I choose to feel joy.
Top of the head. I choose to feel safe and supported right here and now. End of the eye and beginning of the eyebrow. I am, and just think, I am, whatever that might be. I am okay. I am safe. I'm fully supported by myself, energy, whatever it is, source, your guides, your angels. End of the eyebrow. Everything works out for me, all in divine timing. Under the eyebrow, I am safe, I am supported. Down underneath the chest, and I love, accept, and honor myself right here and now. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Just blow anything else that's left out into the environment and let it go. Let it dissipate. And then just allowing yourself just to move your body around a little bit and just to come back in and just ensure that you still feel that your feet are really grounded, okay? Really safe on your feet. So what else have I got to tell you about this? This is the meridian. So think about it. It's coming up the center line right across the center of the brain, yeah? So it's coming through the third eye. It's coming on the nose. It's coming through this point here. It's there also nourishing the brain. Okay, so it's really good for nourishing the brain. You know, sometimes when you get foggy and you feel foggy, you don't feel like you've got clarity in your head. This is a great one to do. You can just trace it. So that's another really good thing to do. It's really good for headaches. If you've got a headache that goes through the center of your head, if you've got headaches that come to the side, that would be more gallbladder because gallbladder literally goes around the side of the ears here. But if it's central, it and down the back of the neck, the center of the neck, this is going to be the governing meridian impacting this. Okay. Does anybody have headaches? Are you headachy people? I'm not, thankfully. I've never had to have that. Thank God, I've never experienced that. But if you do, this is a really good thing to do. So when you think about this meridian being out of balance, you will find that actually you might just feel sluggish. You may feel that you did show, right? Okay. You may just feel that you've got different blocks, emotions might be stuck. You might find that your spine will go into, if you're very dominant in this, if you're, and you are Lainey, okay, if you feel that you've got different pain that comes up and down your body, then you know that this meridian is actually not in its best place. It's obviously out of balance. Okay. Unresolved trauma can be stuck in here. Chronic stress can be stuck in here. That will all show up. Because when you think about the emotions that we've got, where do you feel that sometimes you are not being supported? You don't feel yourself that you actually can support yourself, or is it other people who are not feeling like, or you're not feeling that other people are supporting you, or that you've lost trust, or you've lost, what else did we have on here? Um, Honesty, supported is the most important one here. Burdened, if you feel the weight, if you feel that you're not really coming from a place of integrity, maybe you're doing something that really you know you should not be doing. And you know that integrity is something that's really important to you, but you're actually finding it really hard to really stick with that. And so that's going to cause major conflict, which will cause you more stress, which will cause you more sort of like breakdown. So this is going to cause more. And of course, where's it going to come out in? You will feel it in your back. So when you understand which part of your back is showing up with that pain or that discomfort, you will have a deeper understanding of what else is going on. So if you're feeling really unsupported, and that's the thing, it's going to be lower back. The middle back, are you still stuck in the past? Are there things that you wish that you could let go of and just move forwards, even if you can't change them? Because that's the biggest thing. We can't change what has happened in the past, but what we have got the choice to do is how we still respond to what happened in the past. And you can change those emotions because when you think about it, if you've still got some issue, and we've all got shit, haven't we? I mean, let's face it, we've put stuff in our backpacks for years. We've just filled up that with bricks of this and bricks of that. When you go back and you think about something, if you still have an emotion when you think about that situation, then you've still got something to work on. If you can go back and think about it and it's just bland and it doesn't feel like it even happened to you, you know you've cleared it. That's a really easy way to understand if you've cleared those stresses and those traumas and, the experiences that haven't worked out well for you. And that way you can think, okay, I still need to work on, maybe it's a different layer. It's a different aspect that you maybe thought, let's face it, maybe you thought you'd cleared a million times, but there might be some little aspect there that is still coming up that's being triggered by something. And if it's being triggered, clear it. because normally things can be stuck away in the cupboard for quite some time and then they'll come up and you think, right, now it is the time to clear this. I haven't thought about it a long time. So it's clearly coming up to be cleared. Don't put it back in the box. Okay. And so this is where this energy system is more than just an energy system. I put a couple of posts out today. I don't know if anyone saw them. It is, it is so much more than just an energy system. It is a message from your soul, from your divineness, from the inner part of who you are. And just by understanding the mechanical parts of this system, if you like, you can then start to unravel the story for yourself and have a clearer understanding of what you need to shift and change. And that's why this system is so powerful, in my view. What else do we say? What else have we got? Obviously, when you look also, this goes all the way up from the coccyx bone all the way up. It's also going to have an effect on different organs. And this does relate a lot to the kidneys. Now, I don't know if any of you, I mean, I used to, God, years and years and years ago, I used to get loads of bladder infections and kidney infections. And it was excruciatingly painful. I didn't know about this then. And obviously, that was showing it was a pattern that kept repeating time and time again. I haven't had one for donkey's years, but it was a pattern at one point. And I thought, what was it that I was feeling insecure? Because remember, the kidneys are all about feeling insecure. It's about fear. It's about not having any faith in the future. It's about anxiety. And it's about all these shitty emotions that we go through instead of the courage and having the willpower to get up and go on and do what we need to do. So just think about what's going on in your body. What messages are they saying? What's been knocking on the door? What do you need more of, more understanding of? Okay. What else did I want to say? Now, the acupressure point I want to tell you about is GV20. Actually, I've got a great statement here. Actually, before I do that, I want to read this to you. When we try to divide these, what we're doing is we see the yin and yang as separate, but we want to see them as one. And then they become that indivisible wholeness. So these two channels are not separate. They are as one. And you're going to see this in a minute when we do this microcosmic orbit meditation. So don't think that any of these meridians are separate. I want you to think of them as just one big line of energy, which just goes up and down the body and just in different directions, connecting with different organs. It is one long chain. And with the pairs, what you will find is that all the meridians actually start, except for one, there's always exceptions, they start and end on the fingers or the toes, except for the kidney. The kidney meridian is the only one that doesn't start on fingers or toes. It starts underneath the ball of the foot. And we'll talk more about this tomorrow when we do kidney. The rest of them all start or finish on the fingers and the toes. They either go up the body, and generally speaking, whichever pair we're working with, one will go up the body and one will come back down the body. One will come inside the body, one will go outside the body. So remember, the yang go on the outside, the yin, easy to remember, yin or in. And the yin, as we said, are the working organs. Okay, so the acupressure point I'm going to give you today is GV20, which is so easy to find. It's the top of the head. It's this point right up here. Okay, so it's literally, if you put the top of your ears and you come right on the top of the crown. So it's literally Sahasrara. It's the crown chakra, which is also known as the 1,000 meeting point. This is a really, really powerful point. If you get headaches, this is a great point to tap. I mean, I will do it with the palm or the fingers together. It's really responsible also for enhancing the oxide generation and increasing the local stimulation, circulation. So if you have low blood pressure or you get dizzy, this is brilliant. I have low blood pressure and I have used this many times when I've just had that bit of a dizzy spell. And I just tap up here and it's like it brings the blood back up to your head. Okay, so it's really, really good for that. It's good for increasing your memory. It's good for clearing the mind. So this is why we use it in tapping, because we're clearing the mind. We're clearing out different toxins as well. We're clearing out any headaches that might be up here. We're clearing out any mental sluggishness, if you like. You know, when you just think you can't think. This is a really good point as well. All right. And you can actually you will find a little indentation in there actually. You can massage it. And of course, if you've ever had a head massage, and I mean a proper head massage, there is nothing. I mean, when I used to go to India and these guys used to give us head massages, I'd never had one before, and I can't tell you it. You have another massage anywhere else, it's nothing like it. It is unbelievable. So this opens up because we hold a lot of tension in the skull. A lot of tension in the skull. That's why cranial osteopathy is really powerful, actually, because we don't realize how much tension we hold in the skull. So by tapping these points, and there's other points that we've got up here as well, this is a really great way just to clear that channel, okay? And it's an easy one for you to do, especially as it's top of the head. Obviously, we've got different points down the spine, which are not so easy to get to. So I want you to think about that it's good for ears, it's good for eyes. Okay, so good for clarity, good for headaches, good for dizziness. Really simple. And actually, you don't necessarily have to have anything wrong, as I said yesterday, to use the acupressure points, because what we want to be doing is prevention rather than cure. So you can do these certain points every day. And that's what I'm going to do a workshop just on acupressure points, actually. A whole theme of different, for your immune system, for maybe the chakras and everything. Because if you just give yourself a little session every day or every other day with acupressure points, I tell you, it will boost your energy and you won't get sick. I mean, I never get sick. Never. And if I ever feel something that might be coming a bit of a sniffle, then I'll either tap it out or I'll do frequencies or whatever. I never get a cold, never get anything. And I don't even worry if I'm near somebody who's got anything. I don't care. Because what you want to do is to make sure your immune system is so strong. We have been born with an immune system. It was interesting because and the immune system is so important for us to keep fit and healthy. And if you don't look after that and boost your immune system, then your immune system will get triggered, especially when we get triggered by stress or, whatever's going on. As we said, it can be as simple as being on the computer for too long. The electrical things that we talked about yesterday, the man-made electronics that we are surrounded by will deplete your immune system. So this is why doing these little things for yourself, a bit of tapping, a bit of massage, a bit of this and a bit of that, is always going to keep you on another level so that you do not get sick. Because if you're getting sick, you have not been listening to the messages your body's been telling you. And this is where the meridians will give you a much clearer identification of what else is going on. Because if you don't look at the emotions when you are sick, you are missing a massive big part of the picture. Because everything starts with the emotions. Everything. Okay? So, nope, I've got nothing else I want to say about that right now. Right, we're going to run over a little bit, but I want to give you, because obviously we've got to do the meridians, which is most important, but I want to share with you, this meditation, and you might have to come back. In fact, I know you're going to have to come back And just think about this at being about 37 minutes in. So I'm just reminding you here because you are going to want to come back and listen to how you do this again because it takes a little bit of practice. It's not difficult, but it's a little coordination in your brain to think about the breath and coming up. Okay. So what we're going to do, I want you to focus, and you can do this with your eyes closed because it tends to, I think when you, and that's why I always close my eyes when I'm doing my tapping, because it focuses me inwards rather than outwards. Okay, so when we do this little breathing exercise for this orbit, because remember, this is the microcosmic orbit, we are connecting the central and the governing meridians together. You are going to visualize and imagine below the belly, just underneath the belly button, that you've got a beautiful white light. Okay, so just close your eyes and just imagine that beautiful white light that's going to start. And I'm going to tell you the direction of this and then we'll do it with the breath. Okay, so it's going to go down to the perineum, and that light is then going to come up the spine, and it's going to come over the head, and it's going to just pause. You're going to pause at the third eye. This is all on the in breath, okay? This is why it's a little challenging. And you're going to pause on the third eye, and then you're going to breathe out all the way back down to just underneath the tummy button. So let's give this a go. So the in breath, you're going to breathe in with the light coming down from underneath the belly button, under the perineum, up around the spine. Continue the breath if you can and pause at the third eye. And then you're going to breathe out all the way down from the third eye, down the center of the body, back down underneath the belly button. And I want you to imagine that lovely white light. If you're struggling with doing that in one breath, you can pause it in the middle of the spine, for example, and then take another breath in and pause again at the third eye. So let's give it another go. So breathing in this beautiful white light coming down underneath the belly button to the perineum, coming all the way back up the spine, over the head, pausing in the third eye. Now you're going to let the breath out all the way down the center of the body, underneath the belly button. Take another breath in, and I'll let you do this in your own time. So deep breath in. How are you finding that? Are you able to do that, or is it finding a little difficult? Just take a little practice, take a couple more. So breathing that white light down from the belly button all the way down to the perineum as you're breathing in. White light all the way up the spine. So imagine that you're lighting up through the inside of your body. These meridians run deep inside the body. This microcosmic orbit is deep inside the body. So when you imagine that this is coming all the way up through the center of the body, up the spine, imagine this light literally lighting you up. Pausing at the third eye and letting it go all the way down the center of the body. Let's do two more in your own time. And then when you're ready, just allow yourself to come back. Okay, ladies, how did that feel? Yeah, it's going to take a little practice, yeah? But did you sort of get the feeling of it? And so what I want you to do is not have to think too much about what you're doing, because when you're not thinking about it, it will just become a beautiful practice, but it's just going to take a little bit of getting used to, because it's not something we're used to breathing in and going down. That's where I find that my breath was like, because automatically I wanted to breathe out as I'm visualizing the light down to the perineum. Yeah. So practice that. Practice it in bed so that you've got this beautiful white light around this cosmic orbit, connecting these meridians. Because remember, you're activating all the organs, you're activating the chakras, you're activating the nervous system down the spine. It is such an easy one to do once you get the hang of it. Brenda.
Yeah, so as I'm visualizing this, I understand that it's going down from the CV point from my stomach and then back around my back over the top of my head to my third eye.
Yeah.
And then exhaling, is it going back the same way or is it
No,
coming
it's coming down
front
the front.
ways?
Coming
Okay,
down the front.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Makes sense?
Mhm.
Yeah. Susie, I found it quite hard as well. Um, okay. So what I would do it, you do it in your mind's eye, and if you feel like you need to break the pause in the middle of your back and take another breath in, then do that. Yeah, it is quite challenging, Susan. I really have to think about it. Yeah, I really have to think about it. So Mary, do that. So just practice this, because when you get, this is a really good challenge for your lungs as well, for the breath. So if you have problems with your lungs, you could actually, just as an extra bonus here, girls, massage these points where the arm is attaching to the body. Massage these points. Lung one starts literally here and comes down off the thumb. So if you massage these points, which again, lymphatic points, they're probably going to be sensitive. This will help to open up the lungs. So massage those, see how that feels, so that you can actually get more breath in to allow it to come back down. All right? A little tricky for you girls, I know. Do like to give you a little challenge every now and again. It can't be all too easy. Um, but you can do it, okay? I know you can do it. Now, I am going to see if we can share. And I did do this today because I was like, I'm buggered if this is going to defeat me. So let me, oh. Right, can you see that?
Right.
Hang on,
Black screen.
right,
We go.
can you see my
Yes.
There,
screen?
yes, we can see now.
Oh, great. You've got a million pages over as always. Oh my God. I've always got a million. Right. Fantastic. Don't know why it wasn't playing for me yesterday, but it wasn't. So little Mag Healy has already got its light on. You can probably see its little green light. So let's have a look. Now, ladies, what I'd like you to do is just to come back into that. Let me just swap it over. Into that calm space and ground yourself. And just imagine that you've already set intention for that microcosmic orbit to be in play. Okay? And we are going to scan. So there we go. You can actually see it, and I don't have to show you with my phone. You can see it for real. And I just love watching this. I've watched it hundreds of times, and I still are blown away by the accuracy. And this is a great way to understand and see the channels and understand which direction they go in. So I just want you to really focus on, how do you really want to feel? Really feel into another tip, whenever you start thinking too much, and I'm often in my head too much, when you're in your head too much, you can guarantee that you're not grounded. So I want you just to feel, and this was something in the astrology that I remember hearing right at the very beginning of this year. I don't know if anyone else heard it, that we don't have very much earth energy this year. It's very water and it's very air. And so we need to have more consciousness or more awareness about grounding ourselves. Okay? So you can see it's going through all of the different meridians, and it will tell us in a minute which one we are going to work with. And we'll put the same intention in again. So bladder meridian, this is the longest meridian in the body. And just take some nice deep breaths. So interesting. So small intestine, as you can see at the top there. Okay. So you can see it shows us here whether it's hyperactive. We want everything in the blue. Okay. I've just put it, normally we would be showing the top three, but I've just given it one because otherwise you'd be here all night with me telling you all the different things that comes up. Interesting, triple heater has actually come up with the same percentage. So we could use either. I'm going to go with, actually, are a lot of you feeling a bit stressed out? Yeah, sort of. Give me a comment in the chat here. How many of you are feeling a little bit overwhelmed, a bit stressed? Or how many of you feeling digestive issues are a little bit not great?
Heartburn,
Heartburn, okay.
acid.
Right, okay. Me just feel drained. Okay, to both. Okay. Yeah, do you know what? Okay. We are going to do triple heater because this is one that is actually to do with our stress levels. And actually, if our stress levels are not in coherence, which they're clearly not, then it's going to affect everything. So let's do this. All right. So we are then going to put our focus in here. And are you happy for us to use I feel relaxed and full of energy?
That sounds nice.
Yeah, let's do that, girls. And we're now, it's going to show us the direction. So triple warmer meridian starts interestingly on the ring finger. It's a yang, okay? So it's governing meridian controls this one or looks after this one. And this is also, so it comes up the back of the arm, around the shoulders, around the back of the ear and finishes at the temple. Now, you will quite often see this being called the triple burner, because what it's also working with is the three different parts of the body. So you've got the elimination, so the lower part of the body, you've got the digestion, and you've got the lung area, the respiration. Okay, so it's working with these three different areas of the body, as well as it's responsible for our flight, fright, and free as well. Okay. So let's just, I don't know why I've got these red lines on here. It's not on my phone. It's interesting. Okay, here we go. So it's number 5, which is going to be somewhere on the palm. Triple warmer, I've got my book here. So don't do that. Hang on. Okay. Number 5, outer gate. 96%, 10, we know about this. This is LM is all about belief systems, different levels there. I'm angry about something or someone. Refusal to listen to my inner voice, the inner signs that guide me in life. I feel grief or powerlessness over a thing or person that I become angry with when I see it. I refuse to show, this has got a lot of issues, that this one, 4 of them. I refuse to show flexibility towards present situations, have trouble carrying my joys, sorrows, responsibilities, and worries. Can anybody relate to any of those?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So what we've got here, oh my God, these Latin names are great, aren't they? This is actually a homeopathic remedy. I'm not even going to start saying it. Harmonization of this stress pattern is unable to break away from emotionally shaped behavior. Okay, so just think about that. Unable to break away from emotionally shaped behavior. All right. Let's have a look at another one. So this is the 18th point on this meridian, which is going to be somewhere up on the arm. Cramp pulse. 91%, again, definitely needed. It's something, again, which is known about. It's on a physical level, something you're holding in the body. Refusal to listen to your inner voice, the inner signs that guide me in life. I want to accomplish something with great effort, or I'm anxious with regard to future events. The desired state here. So this is giving us an exercise. Is this, you can strengthen the fire element, which is where this is. This is in fire element, okay? The fire element and the triple heater meridian and promote a sense of joy, passion, and self-expression. So we've got different affirmations here. I find harmony and balance in my body and mind. Okay? Same point. 2000, and this is about not trusting self. Something that's a little bit tucked away, you're not totally conscious of it, 88%, still needing it a lot. Again, telling us it's about refusing to listen to your inner voice, the inner signs that guide you. I want to accomplish something with great effort, or am anxious with regard to future events. This is beautiful. I am able to accept support and help. How many times do you not accept help or even ask for help because
I
you
think
feel
this one was made for me, Fiona.
it really, yeah, Suzanne, I
Okay.
remember we talking about this. Yeah. I mean, look, we all come into this, I think, especially as women, we're so bloody good at this. So this is I am able, okay? You look at every single word that's put into this. I am able. So it's not I am accepting support and help. I am able. You're giving
Yeah.
yourself permission is quite different to accept support and help. Another cramp pulse. I love these names. 2000, again, this is on a physical level, but this really is when we've got these, the 2000, this is about not trusting. Yeah, it's a lack of trust. Okay. A lack of trust in yourself or others. Something when it's under a 5, it's saying that you're not really totally conscious about this. Again, refusal to listen to your inner voice, the inner signs that guide you in life. I want to accomplish something with great effort, or an anxious with regard to future events. Yeah, and this is what it's showing up here. Transforming this energy of grief. And again, we know this grief is a very, very low vibration. And this is in the lungs. It's one of the lung emotions. Okay. So number 5, the 8 outer gate. 84%, a 10, D30, again, physical. It's going through the same things that we had. I'm angry about something or someone. Refusal to listen to my inner voice. We've had this on every one now. The inner signs that guide me in life. I feel grief or powerlessness over a thing or person that I become angry with when I see it. I refuse to show flexibility towards present situations, having trouble carrying my joys, sorrows, responsibilities, and worries. Okay, so the fire element is all about joy. It really is. That is the main, when you're in the stress, if you are in the stress, if you're a fire element person, and I know quite a lot, they will go into panic. That is their stress response, into panic. But when this is in balance, you'll be in joy, you'll be in happiness, you'll be in love, you'll be out, go out there and have fun. All right. So what have we got here? Incorporating this following practice in your lifestyle, you can strengthen the fire element, triple heater, promote a sense of joy, passion, and self-expression, connection to social activities. Okay, so it's a sensible thing to tell us, because quite often when you're feeling really stressed, I don't know about you, but I will shut down. I don't go out. I don't want to go out. And sometimes we need to actually be with people who will support us. And remember, we had that other one earlier that was saying, allow yourself to be supported. Okay. We've got all these things again. Not going to go through all of that. We've heard it enough. We want to transform this emotion of humiliation. This is really powerful, ladies, isn't it?
Yes.
It's quite a strong, and can you see why I'm saying this is such a powerful program? Because it brings up shit that you don't actually want to hear or see. It's like flipping heck. I don't want to see that. I don't want to hear it, even though you know. Now, this one, interestingly, is in the subconscious. It's a minus 67, even though we still sort of know about it. We've tucked it away. This is on a more of a belief system that we're carrying more on a spiritual level. Okay, this is really lovely. So the desired state to get us out of all of these different things is to say, I accept life, my body, my gender, and grace. So gender, this is interesting. So gender is it, you know, us as females in our female role, us as females in the male role. Quite different from female to being in the feminine. I see myself very much in the female, but not the feminine very often, because it's like, you know what, I've had to bring my boys up on my own. I've had to get up and do things on my own. You know, so a lot of us as women, we forget this feminine. We forget what it's like to be feminine. I'm speaking for myself. So this is quite interesting. I accept life, my body, my gender, and grace. It's pretty powerful. Okay, cramp pulse again, minus 78. So again, we've got all these different things here. Refusal to listen to the inner voice. This is the big message of the evening. Want to accomplish something with great effort or anxious with regards to future events. Okay, this is beautiful. I'm energy of polarity and its harmonious dissolution. Okay, I'm energy of polarity. So this is balance. It's harmonious dissolution. So how can we dissolve the stress around whatever this event is and start to listen to your inner voice and take note and bring yourself back into a place of harmony? Okay, how many more have we got? Oh, 2 more. All right, so again, 50,000 is, that's a life theme. This is a pattern that's been played out over your life or over a long period of time. Minus 82, so it's tucked away with all these different things again. Let's have a look what the solution may be. Okay, I choose hope over despair. I choose hope, okay, over despair. Right, the last one, I think. Yep. So minus 94%. So this is really tucked away. Inner voice, anxious regards to future events, harmonization of this and disappointed vision about the community. So is this saying that maybe you're disappointed with people who you feel haven't helped you or supported you, or disappointed vision about the community? And we've got another great name for another homeopathic remedy. So those frequencies will be coming through to you. Okay, so let's do this. So what I want you to do is just to close your eyes again. We're going to send these for 2 minutes 50. And I want you just to feel as if you're receiving these. I want you to allow yourself to ground your feet, just to really be in this place of hope, of balance, of harmonization. Knowing that it is safe for you to move away from emotionally shaped behavior, whatever that means for you. Take some deep breaths in. Just feel the breath coming in through the central meridian, all the way up through the lungs, and breathe it out. I find harmony and balance in my body and mind. Feel into that. I am able to accept support and help. I am able to accept support and help. Feel into that. How does that feel when you say that to yourself? Breathe it in and let it go. This is a time to let go and transform any grief that is stuck in your body. Time for you to connect to different social activities, for you to go out with friends to social events. And that's what the fire element loves to do, is to be social. So are you holding yourself back? Are you hiding? Breathe that in. Letting go and transforming any energy of humiliation. It's a very low vibrational experience, humiliation. Just let it go. Just feel it dissipating, transmuting. Nice deep breaths in and out. I accept life, my body, my gender, and grace. Breathe that in. I am energy of polarity and its harmonious dissolution. I am energy of polarity and its harmonious dissolution. And our final one, I choose hope over despair. I choose hope over despair. And breathe it in and out. And then when you're ready, just allow yourselves to come back in. How did that feel, ladies? Can you relate to what was being said there?
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
very much so.
it's quite deep, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. Anyone feel any tingling or any tension? Sleepy now, Shell. Good. That's why I wanted to do it now rather than during the day. Did it bring anything up for you? Did it sort of like trigger anything? Or maybe it's bringing up things that you know is going on. Yeah, okay. And that this is just giving you the kick in the backside to actually say, I need to do something about it now. Yeah. And then remember that one. I choose hope over despair.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I choose hope over despair. And I said, you can just tap it in if you just do kidney 27. I choose hope over despair. I can't send the whole program in. I have to take the screenshots. It's really annoying. Facebook won't let me do it. So just have a look at some of these again, if you don't remember them, and just choose one. Just choose one and just work with that for the next day until we do the next one. Okay. But just please drink loads of water, allow that to settle, because that was deep. I think that was pretty deep, yeah? Okay, anybody got any questions, anything? And what was it Suzanne said about D? D stands for more the physical issues, things where they're stuck in the physical body. So C is very much the emotional. D is much more the sort of physical, how it's stuck in there. LM is more the spiritual and the belief patterns that we hold on to. So it's, those numbers at the top, the percentage, the middle number, and the homeopathic potencies, they are literally a story on their own. apart from everything else that we're working with. And I just find it quite fascinating when we can see what we are stuck in the cupboard, the minuses. But they're sort of stuck in the cupboard, but when you see them, you're like, oh my God, yes, I do get that. Yeah, did you notice that? It's like, yeah, actually, I do get that. But if you hadn't said anything to me, I wouldn't have known it. But it's like, oh, I do get, yeah, actually, that is exactly what it is. But we've tucked it away. Yeah. Quick question. Yeah, of course. The tapping exercise started to feel lightheaded and queasy. Ah, interesting. Quite new to wondering. Yeah, that might be, Mary, that might just be bringing some stuff up. It might just be, especially around the eyes. So I would just drink some water. If you're dehydrated at any point, even when you're doing the tapping or when you're doing any of the frequency work, you are going to get different things happening. You might feel you might feel headaches will come on, you might feel discombobulated, you might feel a bit dizzy, you might feel all sorts of different things. It's the same thing. So please make sure that you drink some water. Do you feel okay now, Mary? Good releases, Anna. Fantastic. Good. Fantastic. And I know this doesn't look like we're doing a lot, but believe me, it is really powerful. Okay, so I want you just to take it easy and go and have a good night's sleep. Except for you ladies in the States, you can go and have an afternoon nap if you like. But yeah, just see how you go. All right. Anyone watching on the replay, I'd love to know what your experiences are of these as well. Yeah. And listen to your inner voice. Every single one, I don't think I've ever seen one that came up with the same message for everything. And we just need to keep reminding ourselves just to listen to your inner voice. Your wisdom knows. It's just you're blocked it out with the programming and the shit that we've done in so many things. We just block it out. So really start to think, what is it that I need to, what action step do I need to take? And don't make it too big. What small thing can I do to take action on what I need to change? One small thing. Because if you make it too big, you are not going to do it. All right. I'm going to put the link in the group. I'll send you the recording. Well, the recording will go in the email out and it will go into the group. And I will also put in the page with the next step. If you want to join us, I would love you to join us because, I mean, Susan, are you still here, Susan? Yeah, no, Susan's gone. She's in the States. We've got two. Oh, you are still here, Susan. Fantastic. I mean, I don't know, Susan, I mean, you had amazing results last year when you did the 12-week, which was a lot more. And it was really interesting. If you remember, stomach meridian kept coming up. And it was so interesting. The stomach meridian, and I'm not kidding you, for weeks, it was the one that came up. And it kept repeating and repeating and repeating. And it was like, this is going to keep showing up until we start shifting the programming in this element here. And it was really, really interesting, actually. It came up forever. And then I remember it came up for you, Susan. I remember you coming back to me and saying, I don't have the stomach meridian anymore. We've got something else. So it finally did. And that's what will happen. And this is why I say there is so much power in this work with the Mag Healy in discovering the underlying causes that we're holding on to, the baggage that we're still carrying that we really don't need to carry. We just don't need it. And it's the messages that your soul are just screaming out and saying, you know what? Yeah, we need to get rid of this. We really need to clear these. And then you just feel so much more vibrant and free. So think about, remember, central meridian, connected, disconnected, zip up. And remember, so we didn't do the connection from the governing. All you do, because obviously you can't go. So what I do, so we're doing the zip up with central from the pubic bone or the perineum all the way up. And then governing, I literally do it with one hand as far as I can go up my back. And then I bring the rest over. Okay, so I just do it that way. And you imagine that this meridian, and then you can imagine this orbit this microcosmic orbit. So practice that breathing and remember the governing is all about feeling supported. Being in your integrity, trusting in yourself. Because at the end of the day, ladies, nobody will ever support you as much as you support yourself. That's amazing, Susan. You don't have stomach coming up at all. That just goes to show that's over a year, what, year and a half or something, that you don't. So this is what happens when we work on a program, when we work with specific issues. When they are done, they are done. They are cleared. Okay, so I want you to practice doing your central, zipping up, and then, you can actually do the shortcut and just do it, just imagine that you're pulling this beautiful channel up and you're just flipping it over your head and it finishes at the back of the top teeth. Okay. Anything else, ladies? Any other questions? Anything else that's come up for you that, or you just like, I want to go to bed now or drink some water and go and sit down and relax? I can shut up now. I'm going to have my mint tea now. Okay, so tomorrow I'm very excited to share Kidney Meridian with you because, and this is a squiggly one, okay? This is a bit of a more challenging one to trace. But I'm going to show you that. And it's my favorite. I love the kidney. I love the kidney because there's so much about it. And I'm going to tell you lots about that one tomorrow. Okay, so if you've got questions, put them in the post in the group and we'll answer all those questions as well. And if there's any other comments, or just let me know how you're feeling. Even if you feel that, you're feeling a bit, let me know about that as well. I need to know everything, okay? Apart from the fact I'm nosy, I like to know what's going on with you all. Okay, dokie. So go and have a good sleep and a good day, and I will see you tomorrow evening, 8 o'clock.
Thank
All right,
you.
ladies?
Thanks,
You're most
Fiona.
welcome. Lots of love.
Thank you.
Bye for now. Bye.